What's up, expeditioners? Welcome to part 15 of Expedition 33 with a Therapist. I appreciate so much that you've made it this far. I hope you continue to watch the playthrough. Those of you that are like commenting, oh my god, DrMick, I hope you finish the game. I'm gonna finish the game. So rest easy, my friends. Made it this far. I'm gonna finish it. All right. Thank you for taking the time. Seriously. If you leave likes and comments, you're the best. If you just watch my videos and you don't subscribe or click thumbs up or follow links, I mean, you're cool, but you could be so much cooler if you did those things. So, like, do that. It's free. And if you financially support the stream, thanks for doing that. All right. So, here we go. Maëlle finds a spot where she can write. Spend some time writing in Gustav's journal to honor his memory. He writes about their encounter with Minoko and how exciting it is to travel with a gestural. She hopes Gustav's apprentices will read this journal someday. Maëlle heads back. Are we allowed to discuss spoilers in Discord? Absolutely not. The spoiler tag is not in any way, shape, or form an allowed way to circumnavigate spoilers in the Discord. No. Follow the rules. Which I guess is a good thing for people on the YouTube side of things to hear. If you decide to pop into my Discord, which I hope you do, read the damn rules before you start engaging in my Discord. Alright. Check up on the others. Oh, there's more.
You see, there was a stalactite and I smashed it, utterly destroyed it. I did it in 2 attacks, plenty of damage. There was nothing left. And then there was a giant pelerin that attacked. It was tough, but I defeated it, no problem.
Pelerins are weak. I could have done that blindfolded.
This expedition is gloomy.
Yeah. They lost a lot of friends, and they just buried another. Grieving takes time.
How about a little Verso magic to lighten the mood?
You mean the one that hurts like hell?
Yes, I mean the one that hurts like hell.
All right, I'll do it. Hi.
Not now, please. I'm working.
Hi.
Oh, Verso, there you are. How did... Oh, fuck! Oh my... wow!
What is that?
Hi. I'm a pair of legs that can talk.
Verso?
We're both Verso.
What?
You are so ridiculous.
Wait, how can your legs talk?
Ah, yes, I'm quite proud of that. Took a lot of training.
Does it? Does it hurt?
I love that CL just goes in and starts touching it.
No, it doesn't.
Did you cut yourself in half? Did Minoko cut you in half?
Do you heal from the top or the bottom? Or do you have to bring the halves together? Hey, can you control the process?
So, if you're cut in half, does that mean you can be in 2 places at once? Can you go scouting with Minoko with your lower body, while your upper body stays here and talks to us?
Well, yeah, you see, I can go hunt Nevrons with my top half, while my bottom remains here cooking meals. Back in the days, that's what we used to do.
Can I... Are you...
Yeah, my hair is...
All that pain just to put a smile on their faces. Verso, aren't you getting too attached?
I want to know the answers to all those questions. They were such great questions. It's an art form, figuring out how to bring levity to certain situations that are heavy. And I wonder if he has learned experience that would tell him that doing that is something that can not raise morale, but can create some intrigue and provide some of that levity. I will be interested to know if there are answers to those questions, though. That was pretty wild.
Monoko seems fun.
Oh,
Bet you guys... You guys...
Alright, so this is all done.
Reigning champ...
Naturally.
Alright. Wait, we still have more checkup on the others? Mael stares at the stars. CL appears next to Mael. They spend a moment in silence, both staring at the sky.
Can you teach me to fight better?
Better?
That white-haired bastard hit us before we even knew he was there. I want to return the favor. And you're the best fighter I know.
High praise.
You know they'll be back. I want to get them before they can get us.
Emotions are powerful. You have to make sure they work with you, not against you.
Oh, CL. Saying the stuff that your boy says all the time during the just chatting portions of his streams that folks on YouTube should come hang out with us sometime and hear. Yes. So, this is going to be a moment. We're going to just stare at CL for a minute here, because one of the populations that I work with as a therapist more than others are athletes, high-performing athletes. And while I apply this to athletics, it also applies to not athletic stuff, which is the idea that in order to perform at your very best, to hit the peak of what your capabilities will allow you to do at the current moment in your development you're in, you have to understand and work with your emotional experience. If somebody has pain in their forearm and they're trying to throw a football, they have to learn how to work with that if they're going to have to deal with that pain. The same deal is how we would work with a certain emotional experience. If you are anxious walking out onto a field, you don't ignore it. You do it while you're anxious. You work with the emotional experience that is there. So CL, being somebody that Mael respects as a high-level performer, in this case in combat, her saying emotions are powerful and you have to make sure that they work with you, I would flip that sentence to say that you work with them, not against them, is incredibly valuable. Especially for somebody like Mael, who is experiencing big feelings right now. Like, yeah, if you think for a second that you're supposed to bury those and not experience them in order to perform at your best, you are wrong. You work with that experience. You acknowledge it for what it is. You control what you can control. You invest in your competency. You invest in practice. You work toward cultivating a practice regimen where you are consistently pushing just outside of your peak ability to perform. Because if you put yourself in a space where you're requiring more competency than you're capable of, you actually stymie your development. That's a conversation for a different day. But the fact that CL is making this point is incredibly important. So whenever people pop into my chat or come into my therapy room or whatever and say, Dr. Mick, I deal with anxiety or I deal with anger or depression or whatever, I want it to go away. How do I make it go away? My answer is not anything that people usually want to hear. It's not about making it go away. It's about learning about it and working with it and validating it, understanding why it's there, understanding your ability to control your response to it, and focusing on those things while finding compassion for your experience is more likely to help you through it than just constantly working against yourself. So the number one, like if somebody's having a panic attack, you don't tell them ignore your anxiety. The way that you engage with them is to acknowledge the anxiety. I see it. It's here. Okay. Same with any other emotional experience. Why we call it anger management, not anger go away. So I love that she just made this point. Your responses to emotion are more important than the emotions themselves.
I know.
Okay. First lesson. Sounds obvious, but you need to see. Really see. Your eyes will tell you the truth, but your brain can lie.
This is true.
What do you mean?
Emotion can mess with your perceptions. Make you miss important details on the field.
I'm going to let her keep talking, but before I do that, I'm going to use a technical term here. CL right now is using a technique that we would call externalization. And what that essentially means is that you take something that people usually see as being like within themselves and you make it an external thing that you interface with. So she says emotion can mess with your perceptions. Emotion can make you miss important details on the field, but that is externalizing. It's making it so that Mael sees herself in relationship to the emotion. So she's anthropomorphizing, which is helpful if sent in the right direction. There's actually an entire therapeutic model called narrative therapy that one of the core components of how you conduct that therapy is to externalize the problem, is to get people away from weaving themselves as the problem into the narrative. You have to be careful because I think that in this purest form, it can miss the fact that you are accountable for certain things as it relates to these things, and you can't remove accountability from things. But as just a small tweak to what CL is saying here, because if she was a therapist and was externalizing the problem, there's a whole list of questions she would go down that kind of follow this. But she's a person talking to a person. She's not a therapist right now. She's not doing therapy. So the thing that I would modify about what she's saying here is that, yes, emotion can mess with perception, but it doesn't make you miss things. A person's focus shifting toward their emotion and their orientation toward it instead of the details on the field is the difference. And so why I mention the accountability piece of this is that you are accountable for the way that you respond to your emotional experience. So anxiety can certainly make it easier to miss important details, but that's because you focus on the anxiety and whatever narrative spins come from that, instead of focusing on the details that you should be focusing on. You can focus on details while anxious, which is why we talk about working with emotional experiences rather than against them. So that's just a small little tweak I would add in there to add some nuance and breadth to what it is that CL is saying to Mael.
Fixate on the wrong thing, or see what you want to see.
Okay.
You need to see things as they are, not how you think they are. See your target so you can understand your target.
CL, did we just become best friends? I don't remember if I've said this in this playthrough. So if I have, whatever, it bears repeating. If I haven't, this is very important. Every single person watching this video, and incidentally, every single person not watching this video, are all biased at all times. You are always bringing a bias to everything you engage with, just by virtue of being a human that has a different subjective experience and observation relativity than other humans. There is no such thing as unbiased. So when CL is saying you need to see things as they are, not how you think they are, what she's saying is in line with that. You can't see things objectively because you still have a reference frame that is yourself. But the reason that it's important to acknowledge bias is so that you know what bias you're bringing, so that you can be aware of ways that you can attempt to counteract that bias if the bias is unhelpful to the situation. So whenever you hear these conversations about people being held accountable to their bias, some people will get like vehemently defensive about it and go like, well, I don't want to own, why would I say that I am biased against X type of person that it doesn't look like me or sound like me or whatever. And it's like, the reason is not so that you can get pounded into a pulp about whatever ism you think that falls into. The reason that we acknowledge that is so that you can see it, counteract it, and then work to try to diminish that bias by diversifying your representation of a thing. So if Mael is going into her engagements right now with a deep level of sadness and grief that makes it so that any Nevron or any foreign entity here that she does not understand is immediately seen as hostile and to be dealt with, that is her bringing a bias into seeing things as what she thinks they are. It's the old adage of, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. It kind of applies here. So when CL's saying this, it's an important point. I say this all the time to like clients, and I say this to, friends and family too, but you have to play the cards you have, not the ones you wish you had. And so many people try to play the cards they wish they had when that's not the cards they have. So when you're fighting an enemy in this case, you need to see what it's actually bringing to you, not what you think it's bringing to you. Your perception of a thing is different than the thing. Basically always. Because you come at it from a biased view. The relativity of the human experience. And it's all very fascinating. So it's these are the kind of nuanced perceptions that is important for a developing person like Mael to maybe have represented in a clear and concise way, in the way that CL is. It's fantastic. I really like it. Understand your audience, not for what they are, not what you think they are. However, you're never going to understand what they actually are, because what you think they are is always playing a part. So you need to know how to counteract that so that you can get closer to the objectivity rather than farther.
How they move, how they think, how they react, so you can anticipate and adjust. On the field, it's just you, your weapon, and your enemy. And you need to understand all three. Everyone has blind spots, so every day you ask yourself, what's yours? What's theirs? Do you know?
I was literally going to say, ask Mael some questions about what she thinks hers is so that she can actually engage this learning experience. And here CL is doing it! Yay!
Thought this would be more of a technique lesson.
You don't need that, Mael. You got to start working on your head. Mael and CL spend more time together. Great. That's seriously excellent. Skill is a big part of the battle, but what you bring to it with your brain is also important. Excellent. Go to sleep. Here's the thing is, I do not think that it would be useful when Mael says to CL, can you help me? The least useful thing that CL could say there, aside from ignoring her entirely, would be to say, you don't need my help, you're the best one here. That is not helpful. You are always developing. There are always ways that you can get better. Just because Mael is the best relative to the group, if she is the best, does not mean that she is the best relative to the other enemies in the space that we're in, or that she can't get better. She might be 4 notches better than everybody else, but she's allowed to ask the question, how can I get to 5 notches? And for her to engage CL around that is perfectly legitimate. So to just look at her and go, no, you've got it figured out, it's not helpful, because everybody's always developing, and people who are at the very top of their game will always tell you there's always more to learn. There's always things you don't know. There's always things that you can refine. Some people get a little too wrapped up in that and don't take time to appreciate where they're at in their development. So it's an art. But the question of like, what can I do to get better is a very important thing to meet with curiosity about where she's coming from. And if you have something to offer in that space, you offer it, because that's what she's asking for. Yes, good enough in a lot of spaces is good enough, but also it's okay to want to develop. I wouldn't want to shut down that developmental curiosity. Oh, I like that you can see the tower that we climbed from the big map. That's cool. I didn't really realize that the first time around. Do you have any thoughts about Verso doing something that looks painful to entertain the group? No. Not anything more than what I already said.
I'm the fastest ball.
Care for a good deal? Let's see what you got. Skirt for CL. Not interested.
Thomas of the 47th Drunken Brigade. Benjamin's been calling us the Drunken Brigade. Ha! I love it. Yeah, we do our best work after a few. The trick is finding that perfect point where your nerves have calmed enough that your mind and body are one, but not so calm that your reactions are dulled. Some of the lads haven't quite managed riding that edge. But I remain in full control of my body and thoughts. Oh, sounds like someone spotted another Nevron. Better fuel up for our next dance. For Lumiere!
So, the majority of my lineage is Irish, but I really don't identify as Irish. Would be curious to know, maybe people in the comments can tell me, I have got to imagine that Irish folks get very tired of the constant stereotype of drunkenness. I'm not trying to be super nitpicky, but it's sort of annoying to me that the pic or whatever that thing is that we get that is very blatantly about like using alcohol as a substance to augment your experience, like, is an Irish group. It's just, it's like it just panders to a stereotype that I have to imagine is not always particularly appreciated. So anyway, I'd be curious if folks in the comments have thoughts about that, but I don't know, just it's such a trope that gets worn out. And I know some people are probably good sports about it. All right, first strike. Who is this? Real question is, fine.
Your turn to dance.
Brace yourselves.
He's went over. That's alright.
Let's spill some ink. Ready to carry.
Danger. Ready to evade. Brace yourselves.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Let
That
the
was
ink
a
flow.
gradient attack. Let's get rid of that thing. I don't like that.
The dance begins. Ready to carry.
Well, that second one was pretty fast.
Prepare to meet your end.
The dance begins.
Ready to evade. Ready to evade.
Please survive.
Let the ink flow.
Sharpened. On fire.
A storm is coming. This ends now.
Drawn up.
This thing's dying a little faster.
bit of violence.
What's up, my guy?
yes.
A storm is coming.
I'm ready. You can't escape.
Man, I think was stunned for a long time.
Finesse and grace.
Oh, last ditch.
I'm ready.
Okay. Minoko must be tasty. Ramesseur's foot. Alright, cool.
Great.
Flesh of this Nevron still feels alive. Ugh. Yeah, little crystal dude walking around. Alrighty. More.
Yeah. Precise strike. Let's dance.
I'm ready.
Ah.
Sweet taste of battle.
Minoko is nuts. Like legit. No, too early on the third. Ooh. Hell yeah, Lune. Portier's foot. See, this is why you take Monaco with you, because you get all the feet. Get all the feet. What do you got, Monaco? Look at all this. Portier crash. Deals high physical damage to all enemies. Deals high single target earth damage, 2 hits. Heavy mask increases defenseless duration to 5 turns. That's pretty good. Deals a single target dark damage. Break. Agile mask. Kills 20% of the target's break bar. High physical damage to all enemies. So that's pretty good. Let's put that instead of... The regen's pretty good, but... Renaisseur Bonk. I love that it says that it's called Bonk. Medium target damage, deals more damage, less health. Monaco has Altus slashes. We'll switch with the Bonk. See how that goes.
Great.
More dead Sakapatat. Esoteric runes. What have we here? My being, a core, with the form of a damned soul. In this state, I am nothing but condemned. Condemned? Yes, condemned. Wander aimlessly as I have been separated from my companions. But I fear they were the ones who cut me off. I am vulnerable in this state. Will you be the one to deal the final blow? Spirit? A spirit? This concept is unfamiliar to me. Would you enlighten me? A spirit could be defined as wandering soul of a dead person, a made-up ghastly creature to scare kids. Something you find very scary. Someone that is dead. Did I die? Since my duty is unknown to me, pardon me. I may not know the answer to your question, as I do not know the nature of my state. Weren't you killed by Nevrons? Nevron. Another concept that eludes me.
It's weird that they don't know about Nevrons.
It's possible they died before or during the fracture. Or perhaps they called Nevron something else.
Does that change if you're like Mael? I must ask, who are you? Are you perhaps explorers of some sort? Is this why you sought out this place? Complicated story. Please listen. I yearn for something. Yearn for what? I do not yet know. Beyond the cliff, something is resonating. In the hopes of remembering the path I must walk, I feel the answer is near. the cliff. I don't think there is. Alright, well let's go see what's beyond the cliff, dude. Why not? First, then we learn skills. Maybe. I don't. Let's climb, baby. Whoa, baby. What's going on over here? Holy shit, this is like a whole ass area. I thought this was gonna be a little side area where we get a record and move along. But it seems to me this is more than that.
We'll have to go through the maze.
Through the maze? I can do that. Maze sounds kind of cool. Sounds amazing. But first, what's the point of this thing being here if I can't even? Doesn't matter. An advantage?
Nice.
Enchantment. Cool statue. Alright, what we got here? No, God, this takes me back to when I was a wee little paintbrush. And I bonked my head in the Hall of Mirrors. Okay, so that's changing colors.
This place is giving me a headache.
Me too. Where's the fighting?
Place is fine, guys. Being weenies. This. Okay. I have to pay attention to when I shoot these, which direction. That wasn't so bad.
Great. The door closed again.
Spooky.
Spooky. Got some spooky spooks. Lots of
stuff.
Lumina here in it. Several pieces of wood that do not fit together. This is how we get out of here. before we go over here. Pick up all the purple stuff that we can get.
Perfect.
Ooh. Up we go. Can't jump and do that. You gotta be firmly planted. Firmly planted. Firmly grasping. All right. Up. Pieces of wood that do not fit together, they all have shiny. This is like Elden Ring, where you get items and you're just like, this thing's weird. What's the purpose? You just carry it around? Like, I guess we'll use those wood boards at some point. Which is fine. I don't have any problem with it. Perhaps these shiny boards will matter at all to this, whatever this thing is. Found your shiny boards. It rings. Something beckons to me. If you have it. Was this material? Will this work? Come closer, please. Talking about these wood boards? Do not see, I am exposed. I have not the means to protect this frail core, so please, give these to me. Sure thing. This is good. My duty renewed. I'm coming back to life. Alien ally also plays shelf for one turn. Whoa! Nobody can touch me now. I thank you. My form is now complete, and my duty restored along with it. No. Okay, whoa. Whoa. Oh, boy. Looks a hell of a lot like the things we've been shooting out of Nevrons. Uh-oh. Could it be? Could it be that the Nevrons are spirits that found pieces of debris from the environment and they use them to shield themselves, and maybe they worry that we're attacking them because they're defenseless, and we've been shooting things that might not actually be hostile the whole time. Oh God. That would really suck, wouldn't it, Jack Jack? You don't care as long as I rub your tummy. Oh man, you must die? No. So you were a Nevron. As I said, I'm not familiar with this term. For what reason do you call me a Nevron? You kill humans, trapping their chrome. Oh my God, we're making such an annoying generalization here. I see. I am now defined by my duty. And fortunately, I don't think I'm what you call a spirit anymore. being defined as a Nevron feels right. Goodbye, let our paths never cross again. I don't want to fight it. It's not hostile. Although I've gone up to other things that weren't hostile and tried to kill them. I have such complicated... I've been saying this for a long time. There is a part of me that really believes that the entire thing that we think this is not what it is. Like, I'm truly at this point ready for us to get to the paintress, and if we can talk to her, she's like, yo, I'm trying to like help you guys out. There's some bad shit here, and like, I'm not bad. I'm just trying to spare you from bullshit or something like that. Because we've been fed a very clear like vibe around all this stuff, and then there's a lot of experiences where it turns that a bit on its head, and we like to just act like we know everything that's going on here, but we really don't. And how we deal with a clash to our confirmation bias as this game progresses, as you can just feel coming, will be quite interesting.
Good stuff.
We're getting real close. I mean, you could probably shout at her at this point. Say, hi, yo, what's up? Look at all these swords and shit that are around here. Old Lumiere, here we go. Again, such Elden Ring vibes, it's ridiculous.
Welcome, my friends, to old Lumiere.
Is anyone still here?
Just Nevrons.
So this is where our piece of Lumiere used to be. Before the fracture ripped apart the world and threw us into the sea.
We're lucky it did. That's probably the only reason we survived.
The heart of the paintress is in the center. Let's go.
Part 15. Paintress Heart Boogaloo. Expedition 42, represent.
This place is an absolute wreck, but it's also pretty wicked.
Okay. We're gonna buy some of these things, but let's fight the merchant first. Let's fight the merchant with Monoko. I will say the thing that's tough with Monaco is it's harder to see what you're doing. Jesus.
Time to lead.
The fight was brilliant. I like you.
Alguron. I got a lot of money. Buy it. Alright, I want revive 10 shards. Pretty cheap. Healing counter recover 25% health on counterattack. Damn. On applying powerful durations increased by 2. Polished chroma catalyst. A lot of those chroma catalysts. additional lumina points per character. Funny, I'm this far into the game, still haven't figured out what that means. Alright, bought a weapon for CL, which I'll probably never use, but that's fine. Alright. These dripping. Dripping. Where's my golden seed? Background music-ish. It's not really music, I guess. Background noise vibe here would be great.
We'll need a way forward.
The heart is in the center of the city. All right? Show off a bit, Minoko.
Just admit you can't do it yourself.
Oops.
Minoko! Why the hell did you...
Sorry, I fucked up. I just wanted to show off.
We just have to regroup. The others should be fine. Verso said the heart is in the center of old Lumiere, right?
Right. Okay, Minoko. Stop crying. We have to move.
Yes, sorry.
Fascinating that we get Lune and CL here with Minoko. Again, it's a situation where, like, I'm not interested in conversations about who's better or who's worse here. They're just different ways of orienting yourselves to things. Minoko is crying. I'd be curious to know why. Is he crying? I mean, when he says he messed up, is he sad about that? Is he angry? Is this something that's happened before? Like, I'd love to have some context around what's got him upset. I don't think it's that bad of an idea to ask him about it. It's not like it takes a huge amount of time to figure that out. If he's even willing to share. You know, CL engages with some reassurance. Lune says, stop crying, let's move. I don't know that she needs to say stop crying, but I think it's okay for her to say, like, let's move, because time is of the essence here. You can cry while we walk. I've seen little kids do it all the time. In fact, one thing that I find hilarious is often when kids are crying and they're like in a grocery store and they're like walking through a grocery store while they're crying. Like they're still functioning just fine, but they're crying. It always makes me laugh. But like Minoko can do that. Yeah, what the hell just happened? I would love to know more context. Like what happened? Where do we think they might have gone off to? Why are Verso and Mael the ones who aren't waking up next to us? I don't know if Minoko was awake the whole time, but I do have questions. But there's different ways to engage this moment. You can validate, and yeah, we got to push forward. So let's do that.
Friends, I beg your forgiveness for landing us in this quagmire.
It's okay, Minoko. Let's move on, shall we?
Get some very
storm is coming.
Sad music. God, but now I have to use CL. Oh.
Here's your card.
A bit of violence, yes.
Whack the other one, okay? Oh good, I got a new weapon for somebody who isn't here.
Why, yes, I'd love a dance.
Take your shot.
Damn it, dude. I keep doing
Time to bleed.
A storm is coming.
Ooh, what's here?
Good
New
stuff.
weapon. Hey, new sorrow. Malco gets a new weapon. That's cool. Get out of here. Start battle in balanced mask. Balanced mask applies powerful for 3 turns. Parries increase the bestial wheel by 1. Taking damage resets the wheel. Upgraded skills deal 30% more damage. Damn, that thing does a crazy amount of base power. But I like starting as powerful. Maybe. Look at that. It's got a little frying pan. Ooh. Oh, look at that thing. Guys, let's make a game. What inspires you? I like Pokemon. I like Elden Ring.
How exactly did our piece of Lumiere end up on an island when the rest of the city is here?
One of the great mysteries. I wish we had more time. There's so much to study here.
All in due time. I assume it. Perhaps will be answered. Baseball's the secret.
An advantage.
Enchantment. This thing's strutting around. It's all cool. Not as cool as me.
Aroma is flowing.
Guarded Almighty. Oh. Oh. Let's do the bonk. again. Every goddamn time.
Lune, attention.
I was waiting for that. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Your dance.
Beast. Get it together. Open your own medicine. Yeah.
Let the ink flow. Ready to evade.
Grippy swords everywhere.
So, Minoko, what was life like before the fracture?
The world was smaller and cozier, livelier. There were many more of us Gestrels back then. The fracture tore our villages apart. Only a fraction of a fraction survived. Our forests are filled with Gestrels awaiting rebirth.
That one kind of answers the question. I want more detail. Detail. I also want more Cajun Yetis. Hey, look, it's another person who probably doesn't want to talk to me. I'll have nothing but time, I suppose, to sit and think. What are you? These days, I'm just a man who sits and thinks. When she was young, she'd get sad thinking about mortality. But when I asked her about the sadness, her answer surprised me. Who are you talking about? He who painted Nevron. He wasn't scared of death itself. He was sad because there are more works of art than she'd ever be able to see in her lifetime. So many fables from around the world that she'd never be able to collect, bring to life in her workshop. All the beauty in the world she'd never get to experience, that saddened her. I encouraged them to believe that their dreams are within their grasp, but she proved me a liar. She'd love to challenge me. Of all them, she and I are the most alike. All of them? Important to remember the ones we love. Keep them alive in our minds when they're far away. Far, far away. You were originally from old Lumiere? I paint them so that I can remember them. Remember their faces. The man has gone silent. Interesting. What does it all mean? We'll find out. We're getting drip fed. The drippy swords are a metaphor for the way the story is being delivered to us right now. Oh baby, here we go.
Doesn't that look like one of Esquier's stones?
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring him a gift.
Holy shit.
I was surprised you agreed so readily to Verso's plans.
He seems to be our best bet for now. We lack too much information.
Do you trust him?
I trust that he wants to reach the Paintress, so for now, our interests are aligned.
He has been helpful. Still, I have this feeling he's hiding something.
Minoko, how did you meet Verso?
I don't really remember. I feel like I've always known Verso.
You mentioned traveling with other expeditions.
Quite a few.
How many? What happened to them?
We're asking these questions now? We had all night at camp. Now, we stare at a ball of hair with a sword in it. We're going to ask these questions now. Okay. Sure.
What happened to them?
Maybe ask Verso when we find him.
Yeah, okay. Finding them comes first. Any idea what this is?
Appears to be a giant woman or person with long hair with a sword in the back of her skull to me. Certainly. How, Jesus. I'm struggling right now only because this is pinging a personal pet peeve. So in the interest of talking about bias, I am biased right now in my, again, always biased, but a strong bias is here right now, which is like when you have questions about things and you have time to ask them at the time that it is best to ask them. Dr. Mick, it's a video game. If they gave us all the answers up front, the video game wouldn't persist. Blah, blah. I don't care. That's not the point. It's irrelevant right now. This is something about, we're talking about real life. If there are things that you have questions about, that the answers will lead to you having a sense that you are more informed in the way in which you are moving through X thing, ask the damn questions. Information is so important. There is a level of urgency to what they are doing. Yes. But also, not really. This didn't turn into urgency until there was a crisis of Mael and Verso getting just absolutely, taken away here via a circumstance that we haven't even asked about, which is wild to me that Lune and CL aren't like, yo, do you know where they are? They're just like assuming that they're at the heart of the Paintress. People will sometimes think, oh, I could ask it later, or it's not the right time. If the answer will help you now, it's the right time to ask. So many people avoid asking questions because they don't want to make things uncomfortable. They're worried about what people's perception of them is going to be if they ask. All that is more often than not bullshit. So we're now in a position where there are so many things that having the answers to may have made us more comfortable. Like, what's at the heart? How many times have you been here? In all the expeditions that you've gone on, why has the heart not been destroyed, pierced, or has it been? What do we expect when we get there? Oh, ye Verso and Monaco, two people who claim to have been here multiple times before. So like CL having this gut feeling that something is being withheld. Maybe it's being withheld. Maybe y'all just haven't asked. And they would be, I don't want to make Verso uncomfortable. I don't want to make Verso think that we're suspicious of him. You can't control that. You can't control that. You can control the questions you ask, and you can control the way that you respond to your level of satisfaction in the answers that have been given to those questions. So we are like at risk in an unknown area, and now we see a, no pun intended, giant novel thing that's kind of spooky. Just a dead looking person with a giant sword in her skull. And we go, maybe we should ask some of those questions now. So I bring this up because one of the reasons that this is, we'll call it a personal pet peeve, in some ways it's also a professional pet peeve, is the amount of times professionally I have worked in systems, contexts, and relationships where some of the issues that people are experiencing could have totally been mitigated had certain questions been asked at the outset, back when the person initially had the question, is huge. Where people are like, man, I should have asked that 2 years ago. Yeah. And I'm not talking about questions that you only really derive from the benefit of hindsight. I'm talking about questions that, like, at the time you had them, you withheld yourself from asking them because you either didn't think you had time or you were worried about the response. And so you didn't ask and you didn't get the answer. And then there are consequences to that. And then all of a sudden stuff's foobar and you start asking questions at a time where the situation does not really allow for the answers to come through in the way that you want. So the word to the wise here is, if you have a question, you should ask it and be prepared. Don't ever ask a question that you're not ready to hear the actual answer for. But ask your questions, because I'm struggling right now as the player of this game, because I'm sitting here going, God damn it. Why did you not ask this stuff earlier? It just seems so unbelievably obvious, especially a person like Lune, who engages so many of these things with curiosity. She always goes, I wish we had time. I wish we had time. I wish we had time. You have time. You could ask questions while we're walking.
I'm afraid not. This is my first time here as well.
Which would have been so good to know going into this. So this isn't the informed leading the blind. This is the blind leading the blind. If he's to be believed here.
They were the ones that Verso was traveling with.
I believe so. They made it surprisingly far. An axon. Interesting. Verso is... Is this true?
Mael's with him.
We need to go. Now.
Verso would never harm her.
Can you stand? Monaco gets a bit carried away sometimes.
My back hurts, but I'm fine.
Good. The others are probably heading towards the center of the city. We'll rejoin them there.
And find treasures along the way.
Feels like home.
Yeah. Feels like home. okay?
Monoko fits well in the disaster expedition, eh?
Yeah, it does. After you.
I don't know that this is true because I can't ask Verso. He asked Mael if she was okay twice. First time she answered, she said, "My back hurts, but yes." He asked her again. Because he didn't hear her? Probably not. Is it because perhaps he's not okay? But he's not saying he's not okay? And is instead projecting it onto Mael? Maybe. If you're a person that buries sentences within questions, you should work on that. Because Verso had that look when she said it feels like home. He seems visibly shaken, and he keeps asking if she's okay. And I really think that's him saying he's not. He's almost looking for some level of reassurance that she's okay so he can focus on her to get away from the fact that he's not. Mael could certainly look back at him and say, "Yeah, I said I'm good. Are you good?" And I'm not saying that he has to just come out right here and say, "Hey, Mael, I'm not doing well." But he could say, "I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm a bit shaken up. And here's why." He could say that if that's his experience. And it would be helpful for Mael to know that because she would know what she's working with. Instead, he takes a bit of the leader, adult, parent posture on this of checking in with her and zipping it to make it seem like he's fine and he's making sure she is too. And I don't think that's what's happening there, as evidenced by the fact that he asked her twice after he already got the answer. So, did you not hear me? Or are you not okay? And people who have a hard time expressing what they perceive to be vulnerabilities that somehow might be burdensome to others are the people who are most likely to do this, at least in my experience. Where instead of just naming that they're not okay because they worry that it's burdensome to the group or because they put themselves in a position where they think they're supposed to caretake constantly, the idea of naming that you're shaken up is just so foreign, and you sort of worry that that's going to overburden the group to hear you say that instead of just saying it, you ask questions like that. You bury it in your caretaking role. It's not great. It's not great communication. It's worth working on. But this is the type of stuff that I think is really important to track. And the only way that you track this, because I'm seeing some of this kind of in comments, people are saying I didn't pick up on this. I'm not saying this is I'm better than you. It's not what I'm saying, but you pick these things up when you listen. When you actually observe and pay attention to what other people are saying, and you pay attention to the process of how things go, instead of overly inserting yourself into it and your own perceptions or your own whatevers. You just try to observe what's going on. You pay attention not just what people say, but how they say it, what the actual procedure of events happens in communication. You can pick up on things like this, where you hear him ask a question, she answers it, he asks the same question. That is not a pattern of communication that fits the idea that I wanted to gather information from you and I got the information and now I'm satisfied. So either he didn't hear what she said, which would be a little strange because she answered him immediately. So it means he asked the question and got massively preoccupied by something, which means that he's preoccupied, or he's asking if she's okay because he's not okay. And then you sort of can explore that. As a therapist, if I'm watching this exchange, I might say, "Hey, Verso, I noticed you just asked that question even though she answered it. What is that about? Are you okay?" And the thing I appreciate about my L here is that she answered the question. You know how many times I watch people ask questions and people don't actually answer it? Kind of like Minoko not really giving much of an answer to what was this like before the fracture. Anyway, it's a small thing, but it tells me that something's up with Verso. Aside from just the obvious camera pan to his face when he said, yeah, it feels like home. But anyway, just these are things to pick up on. Now it's interesting.
Speaking of home, where do you live in Lumiere?
Above a bakery near the center. Angelique's Boulangerie. I ate there every morning. I wonder if it's still there.
It's called Mathilde's now. When this is over, you should go and visit.
I am slightly well, again, Verso, I guess, has maybe been here before, but I don't know. I do appreciate there's a level of tension cut here because we didn't know what was happening with them, and now we play as them. 42, number 42 flag here. Well, we'll see what kind of escapades Mael and Verso are going to get up to in part 16. I hate to cut this one short, but at the time of filming this, I had a very long day, and I can feel myself becoming fatigued, and I want to be sharp for what's to come, so I'm going to end the episode here instead of trying to power through and then hitting a point where I have to analyze it, and I don't have the gas for it. So, gonna end it here. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching these. I'm grateful for you to engage with this playthrough in whatever way that you do. Do leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Engage with my content. Tell other people about it. It makes a huge difference for my channel. So, to those of you that do that on the reg, thank you for doing that. I really do mean it. It helps a lot. Y'all are awesome. And if you're binging, I'll see you right here in the next episode. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, I'll get it out to you as soon as we can. You are awesome. I appreciate you. You matter. See you in the next one.